Hi everyone, it's John Arnold here from the 7-Minute Life, and today I want to talk to you about how to say no to things in a way that is guilt-free and helps you protect your time so that you're not so overcommitted. Now, my lesson I learned in this goes back a few years. I was standing around the copier with a pastor friend of mine who was also a counselor, and he was bemoaning how busy he was, and he said, "John, I just have to learn how to say no more often." Who's said that before? I got to raise my hand on that one. Said that a number of times. And I looked at him and I half jokingly said to him, "You don't have to learn how to say no. You're really great at saying no. You've been good at that." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, you've said no to your health, said no to rest, you've said no to eating right, you've said no to your family." And we kind of laughed about it, but we also knew it was very true. And that was at a time where I was having to re-examine a whole lot of my own life priorities because frankly, if I'm blunt about it, I was neglecting my family, not spending time with them the way I really wanted to be, and I was overcommitted, and it made me stressed and tired and a lot of times just frankly surly to be around. So what changed for me? Well, it snapped for me one day when I realized that my family was a high enough priority that I could tell other people that I had a prior commitment, and that commitment could be being home with my family, and that was okay. So someone would come up to me, and you've probably had these scenarios where they go, "Hey John, what are you doing Saturday?" Well, I used to go, "Oh, I don't know, nothing. Why?" Well, at that point, I'd open the door for anything and everything to come through it and sit down and be kind of an unwelcome guest on my daily planner. Well, what I learned was first you want to kind of check who's at the door before you go throwing it open. So now if somebody says, "Hey, what are you doing Saturday?" I say, "Why? What's going on?" And I check out first what it is that they may be asking me to do. And once that I find out what it is, then I'm free to pick or choose whether that's in line with my highest values or priorities. Now, if you're going to do that, here's the thing you need to know. You have to know your highest values, your highest priorities, to be able to look at them and say, "Listen, I'm sorry, I would love to help you out, but I have another commitment that day." And that other commitment, for me, I realized was completely okay. It was all right for that commitment to be, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to rest and I'm going to be with my family. Now, truth be told, if you've really got your values and priorities and your time under control, if you've really kind of mapped out how you're going to be spending the time, you will be placing in your planner time for your family, for rest, for recreation, for leisure, for those other things, and you'll realize those are just as important or more important than requests that come your way. And you might be able to look at someone, and this is the ideal, and when they say, "John, what are you doing Saturday?" be able to say, "Oh man, I've set that day aside. I'm going to spend the day with my family. We haven't had any time together lately." And there you go. You don't have to check who's at the door or anything. If you've really got a grip on your values and you really got a grip on your schedule and you're owning it and your time is your time and not somebody else's expectations and agendas, then you'll be able to say that. And if you truly understand that those are high value activities, you can say them without any guilt at all. So that was a hard lesson for me to learn. I was kind of a people pleaser, still am to some degree, but I realized that I'm not very good for anybody else if I'm not at first guarding my own highest values and priorities. Otherwise I get worn down, ragged, weary, and I don't have the creative energy I need to be able to serve and help others. So there you have it. Simple two-step process. When somebody comes to you and asks what you got going on, first say, why? What's going on? And find out, feel out what it is before you open the door. And then be willing and ready to say, "No, I'm sorry, I would love to do that, but I have another commitment." Sometimes you can explain that, sometimes you don't need to. And if you really get it under control, you'll just be able to look at them and tell them what that other commitment is without even checking. So have a great and blessed day, and I hope that this saves you from a lot of heartache that I went through by expending my time needlessly on other people's priorities that weren't in line with mine. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.